Alright, quick talk. As far as NASA and Alta Wisdom, if I was you and wouldn't download the NASA program, it has a tracker program and a trace program in it. You didn't want me to tell that in NASA. Oh well. Anyways, the egotistical people at NASA cannot tell the geothermal readings on the sun. Because if you did this, then you would have a little toy, which ain't a toy, is a device that technically follows that sun all the way around until it goes down, then another one picks it up on the other side of the planet. Anyways, spike readings of warm versus cold has actually increased. When I say increased, it means that you have more warm days than you do cold days. As far as the winters, you don't even hardly have a winter. It's like 2 months to 3 months out of the year, providing that it's cold enough. Now, not going by the fact of Alaska or Washington, those readings would not benefit anyone. As far as the readings on the other side, it is technically cold, but they're a lot higher than a lot of different locations. If you ever look at Ireland and whatnot, they are higher than the United States is. So, in the sense of how the land conforms and whatnot. So roughly it came out to 2 to 3 months of actual winter. We'll see if that changes. Roughly, the sun has been pretty much very, very active. As far as the looping and whatnot, that don't mean too much, because fire does not loop. So, just to let you know, that don't loop like that. So, I'm going to turn around and say they're just lying their ass off because they can barely see the moon, because they don't have the right equipment. Probably never will, but anyway. If you count the cold months and warm months, you're looking at a possibility of roughly 9 months of flat out, not summer, but summer-like weather, even though it's still cold. But you get very, very little precipitation of snow on the ground, which causes droughts and whatnot. As far as what the sun's doing, it is churning inside itself instead of normally just flowing, which is a huge problem. As far as the distance between the sun versus this planet is actually not too far, but far enough that if it were to hit on the North Canadian side, meaning the erased name of the United States, it would pretty much fireball all the way around. To get you to understand what I'm talking about, you get a little piece of metal, or you get a ball, and you suspend it in a what they call a clamp, a jagged clamp, and you put that in there, and then you take a torch and you turn it on, light it up, and then see how the fire goes out around the ball. You'll notice, depending on the size of the earth, is that this will either go all the way around or it will actually be held back versus how much actually hits or actually gets to by traveling to the earth and whatnot. So they asked how many years, so we're looking at geothermal. Technically, I'm going to tell you this, NASA's geothermal images, I don't think they've done a geothermal image in the last decade to 2 decades, because I haven't received one geothermal image. And geothermal really does not pertain to this planet unless you're around a volcano. I mean, I don't know where the heck they get, geothermal this. Man, shut the hell up, you nonsense, mouth-running idiots. I mean, they don't make sense. Why sit in Congress 365 days of the year and talk? What are you talking about? Law? If you were talking about law, you'd have a book in front of you, multiple copies, or just pretty much a a copy of a page and you'd be reading. That's all that billion's actually for. Printing off a page you didn't read, learn law. Are you going to be able to read all of it? Be able to learn all of it? You got to distinguish the fact of what is real law and what isn't real law. If you can't distinguish the fact and come out with this paper that says about Africa, Asia, and whatnot, that, you know, they have primacy over other people. No, it was them being bossed around in Africa by people just going over there and causing problems. That when a person comes in from another country, you might want to be, you know, if a black guy walks up to you and says, don't go down that street because of A, gangs, B, the fact there's a bomb in that building he may know about, you might just want to listen. But at the same time, let's get back to a little bit more of something that might happen, is you can't speak the language. Even though they're required to speak English, not all of them are comfortable about learning English and whatnot. Is it required to learn German? No. Is it required to learn Spanish, what they call Latin down there in Mexico? No. It's helpful, but not required. Mainly because they didn't want browns being pushed around, but neither did I want whites pushed around, which they conveniently deleted the white version or portion of the paragraph out, which sat back and said that all people need to be respectful of that of a person who is alive, or that of whom is walking around and searching for themselves. And they're not supposed to be in a body, but they may end up in a body towards the end of it, so hopefully they're on. As far as the outcome, regardless to one day to a million years, sooner or later this planet will be in the sun. So how soon? I'm just saying that you might want to put an underground city, because Europe right now, as far as the United States is saying, if you ain't going to put yourself together correctly, and when I say put yourself together, means people who ritually, through rituals, misuse law, what they call an abstracted life. Even though it might be a part of life, they use an abstract, which is normally that of a person who does not belong in such of a person. But an abstract also means that the person putting themselves back together, where they're an abstract to life because they're not a whole person. And how can I get away with a dual meaning? Pretty simple. Anyways, as far as when it's going to happen, no one's really going to know. But it's not going to be kind of like that. You kind of got to hold the torch back. And if you use a smoke machine, you can actually see how that's happening. And when that smoke machine, with that, you would have to imagine that most everything that's in around 5,000 Fahrenheit is going to be roughly around 2,000 Fahrenheit or 3,000 Fahrenheit. The distance traveled through space, because we're a lot closer to that sun than they think. So some think this is a scare tactic. No. You want to be incinerated, be my guest. But the videos that I was putting up on Google, which they conveniently, the religious just had to screw around with, and there's certain ones that don't belong in there, were real videos shot from a satellite, highly orbiting satellite from the moon, but they won't tell you that, which is where Hubble used to be. So anyway, that's all I gotta say.